Ladies and gentlemen, for weeks I have been campaigning against the Skyblock elite, and last night the election ended. I became a minister, and my perk will end them for at least the next week. Let's go over this. This all started with the recent election of Aura to the mayorship. Now, Aura is a pretty interesting mayor with a few pretty interesting perks. You know, giving you a ton of skill XP, making monsters harder to fight, everyone's now a whole lot luckier, redistributing income, minions have now unionized. There are some good and some bad things here. Also, there's a few extra details not worth mentioning, and one of those details are the minister elections. These are basically elections of the common man, where you're able to go in and vote for whoever you wanted. Naturally, these became popularity contests almost immediately, and the moment it began, I rocketed up to second place. Now, I decided to use that second place finish to make something kind of fun happen. I wanted Celestial Milk to get up there because I thought she could get the Celestial Milk mix-in the game, something that would give people tracking. Tracking, for those of you who don't know, is a stat that allows you to get a bunch more rare mobs spawned, meaning you can potentially kill them more, meaning you get more rare drops. This works for pretty much any mob with the elusive tab in Skyblock. However, we realized pretty quickly that that wasn't going to work because of the wonderful thing called vote splitting. For those who don't know, in any normal election, if you split your votes between yourself and another candidate, you can cause someone else to win entirely. And other people were gaining on us really quickly. So we had to drop that idea, and we decided to go all in on me. Who was to know that that was going to be an incredible decision? You see, there's a few things about the minister elections that I found out just a little bit too late. Number one is my initial assumption was that all elected ministers would not be able to be voted in back to back. So if you won an election, that was it, buddy. We'll see you in round 3. Number 2 will be for the people, not for you. The other thing I thought is that everyone would get a special perk. Neither of these things turned out to be true. If you won an election to be a minister, you could run again and again. In my view, this was going to lead to a very boring result with the same 7 people voted in 3 times in a row. Not really that fun, definitely elitist, feels like an aristocracy if I'm being honest with you, and I wasn't too happy with it. And the second part also wasn't true. Not everyone would get a special perk, only the top 3 would. Everyone else would be able to pick from previous mayor perks, as well as a few extra things not worth mentioning. So in the last few hours of the election, when I found out about this information and I decided to pick a perk, I decided to do something a little bit fun. I asked them for the long-term investment perk. For those who don't know how long-term investment works, it means that the elected minister will appear as a candidate with all of their perks in the next election cycle. However, there's a second aspect of this that has not been mentioned yet. Long-term investment in these minister elections also means that all of the other elected ministers will not appear in the upcoming election. So 30 Virus won't be there, Perk List 77 won't be there, and 2NFG won't be there. Meaning, it will be me and a fresh field of new candidates. And if I'm elected anywhere in the top 7, I get all 3 perks. Also, another quick thing about long-term minister, do you guys understand how many loopholes I had to go through to get this thing in the game? Initially, when I got up there, it was like, you can pick any perk, except for maybe a couple, and that's about it. And initially, I was like, okay, what about long-term investment? And they were like, no. And then I was like, alright, what about Technoblade's 50% skill XP perk? And they were like, you can have long-term investment. So very clearly, be annoying, ask a lot of questions, and bother the admins whenever possible, because clearly it leads to great results for the people. Another thing about this as well is it won't be able to be picked by anybody else. You won't be able to do this. It's only for me. This is my perfect victory. I win. In my quest to slay the Skyblock Elite, I had to look around at the candidates who were currently up there at the time of me finding out about long-term investment. And pretty much everything was the same except for a couple differences. Squid Kid, who's been replaced by the electoral goon over there, was currently not doing so well at the time. He was really struggling to find votes. I needed to goad him into doing better so he wouldn't fall out of the top 7. If he didn't end up in the top 7, he'd be able to be picked in the next election. And he's a Skyblock Elite. He shouldn't be there. So I had to act quickly. I decided to goad Squid by repeatedly telling him over and over again, man, that gap between me and you is pretty big. Surely it won't get any smaller by the time that the election rolls around. And he fell for it. It was that easy. Pretty much immediately, he was hopping from lobby to lobby, running around saying, please, please vote for me. Please, I need your help. I need your vote this election, please. So by that time, it was Squid Kid confirmed, and it was everyone else in this top 7, except for Refraction and Candy Pat. There was a bit of a fight between the two of them for that 7th place position, and I needed to make sure that Refraction won so that someone who's actively playing the game ends up in the next election. So, what did I do? Simple. Lying. I told Candy Pat that it'd be so much easier for him to run in the next election because I told him that none of the ministers would be able to run anyway, meaning that he wouldn't be able to be up there at all. Now, this little bit of lying turned it into a very different situation for him. Candy Pat, as a member of the Skyblock Elite himself, wants to be number 1. He didn't want a 7th place finish. That got him to drop out of the race and endorse me, meaning that Refraction was voted in. I hope you guys enjoy your easy peasy perk, because it means that next time, I'll be around with some of the smaller Skyblock YouTubers, and we're gonna have the Derailious Choice Awards. But Derailious, you don't get to choose the next mayor. Why are you acting like this is something that you can do? Au contraire, my friend. Let's go into the election booth and talk about what some other people picked. Technodad, for example, came in 2nd place, which congratulations to him. His perk is that the elected minister's votes now count 5,000 times. I want you to wonder, who was just elected minister? In all seriousness, though, the reason I did this is for the people. I did not want all 3 elections to end up exactly the same, and it was going to be that way. It was going to be the same top 7 the whole way down 3 times in a row, and that wouldn't have been fun. I would not have enjoyed that. I don't think many other people will have as well. I want to give smaller creators and smaller individuals the chance to actually make an impact on Skyblock and get some crazy perks in the game. This is why I chose long-term minister, and this is why I will also be appearing in the next election to give you the perks that you want. The perks I'm thinking of right now are Perkpocalypse and maybe another event perk, but we'll have to figure it out, as well as the mix-in. We'll get that in the game. Jade will also be running, but you can vote for her if you want to. We're not going to campaign nearly as hard because, ladies and gentlemen, we already won by getting this to happen in the first place. For those who are concerned about not being able to vote in their favorite Skyblock YouTuber this next election cycle, do not worry. There will be a 3rd election that'll have pretty much everybody in there, so it won't be that big of a deal. You will be able to vote in like 30 virus again if you wanted to. I just wanted to do this because I think the people deserve a choice that isn't just between the 7 biggest creators at the time. I think we need to make sure that people actually get a voice in these elections, and this is the point where Skyblock can change because you actually get some crazy perks. Think about some of the things that people could add with custom perks. It can go extremely hard. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this saga of me breaking the Skyblock elections and maybe bothering the admins a little bit too much. I think it was a great experience for myself, and I really do appreciate anyone who was involved with the campaign. You guys were crazy. The support was nuts. The community was going absolutely ballistic, which was ridiculous. There were a few people who were a little bit too serious about the event, and I read their comments and I'm like, maybe you should go outside a little bit. But aside from those people took this very seriously in a positive way, and I think it's going to lead to some great perks for the community. If you're worried about where Perklist 77 and 30 Virus's perks are, they're custom perks as well as Technodad's, those are still being worked on. I'll have a video on those once they come out. They are very, very exciting. 4th place, myself, could not get a custom perk in the game, so no mix-in yet. We still have to fight for it, but I am extremely excited. Make sure to like, subscribe, use code RAIL in the Hypixel store for 5% off your order. Vote for whoever you want in the next election. It's your choice. Fame actually ends up mattering now. So if you have a higher fame rank, you're going to get more votes. That's a 2NFG thing. And also, my vote counts for 5,000. I might just use it on Jade. I might not use it at all. We'll figure it out, whatever. But let me know what you think down below. I think this was a crazy event, and it's only getting started. Look to the future, fellas. I'll try to create a better one for each and every one of you.